Well, that's all right, Mama.
The
That's
king of
all
rock and
right with
roll,
you.
a man whose voice
That's all
shaped a
right,
generation,
Mama.
whose
Just stay
charisma lit
right
up the
there.
world,
That's all
and whose
right.
story ended far too
That's
soon.
all right. That's all
And what if Elvis
right,
Presley, the boy from Tupelo, never signed with Colonel Tom Parker?
Mama.
How would his life,
Do.
his music, and his legacy have
Well,
changed?
Mama, she
Would
done
he have risen
told me.
higher or fallen
Papa
faster?
done told me
Would he still
too.
have been the
Son,
king?
that guy you fooling with, she ain't no good for you, but that's all
Join me as
right.
I unravel the crossroads
That's
of Elvis
all
Presley's
right.
life in this epic alternate
That's all
reality. This is not just a story about what was, it's a journey
right
into what could
with
have been.
you.
Elvis Aaron Presley, born on January 8, 1935, in Tupelo, Mississippi, was an American singer, actor, and cultural icon widely regarded as the king of rock and roll. Growing up in modest circumstances, Elvis's musical influences included gospel, blues, and country, which he fused to create a revolutionary sound. In 1954, he began his recording career at Sun Records, and his provocative stage presence and powerful voice quickly made him a sensation. By the mid 1950s, he dominated the charts with hits like Heartbreak Hotel, Hound Dog, and Don't Be Cruel, and his films, including Jailhouse Rock and Blue Hawaii, further cemented his fame. Elvis served in the U.S. Army from 1958 to 1960, a period that reshaped his career, but not his immense popularity. Despite challenges, including the loss of his mother, he returned with a string of hits and a legendary comeback special in 1968. His later years were marked by struggles with personal relationships, prescription drug addiction, and health problems, exacerbated by the pressures of his immense fame. On August 16, 1977, Elvis passed away at the age of 42 at his Graceland home in Memphis, Tennessee, leaving behind an unparalleled legacy in music and pop culture. His influence continues to resonate worldwide, making him a timeless icon. Elvis, freshly signed with Sun Records, is gaining regional popularity with songs like That's All Right and Blue Moon of Kentucky. Sam Phillips, impressed by Elvis's unique blend of genres, introduces him to several managers, including Bob Neal and Colonel Tom Parker. However, Elvis, wary of Parker's controlling nature and his lack of focus on artistry, opts to stick with Neal, who supports Elvis's musical evolution rather than commercial gimmicks. Without Parker's aggressive deal making, Elvis's breakout moment with RCA Records is delayed. Instead, Sun Records continues nurturing his talent, allowing Elvis to develop a deeper appreciation for blues and gospel roots. While his ascent to fame is slower, his music gains more critical respect. Sam Phillips introduces Elvis to Johnny Cash and Carl Perkins, leading to a collaborative tour across the South. By the end of 1956, Elvis releases a self-penned hit, Cry for the Night, blending gospel and rockabilly. Though it doesn't top charts like Heartbreak Hotel did in the original timeline, it garners critical acclaim, positioning Elvis as a rising star with substance. Elvis, managed by Bob Neal and Sam Phillips, focuses on his music and carefully selects film roles. Unlike the formulaic musicals Parker pushed him into, Elvis lands a supporting role in the James Dean-inspired drama The Rebel, a fictional film. His performance is praised and he begins to be seen as more than just a singer. In 1958, Elvis is still drafted into the U.S. Army. However, without Parker's spin on the situation, Elvis uses his time in Germany to study classical music and learn from European musicians. He forms lasting relationships with German blues artists and even performs for troops. He meets 14-year-old Priscilla Beaulieu, but maintains only a respectful friendship, avoiding the controversial dynamic that later unfolded in the real timeline. Elvis returns from Germany in 1960 with a renewed focus on his craft. Now an independent artist, he signs a fairer contract with Atlantic Records, where producer Ahmet Ertegun helps Elvis explore soul and R&B. This partnership leads to his breakout album, The Memphis Sound, which includes hits like Burning Love, released earlier in this timeline, and Stand By Me. His fame is no longer defined by teenage adoration, but by a wider audience captivated by his artistry. However, without Parker's relentless financial schemes, Elvis earns less, but retains more creative control. The 1960s bring cultural and political upheaval. Inspired by his gospel roots and conversations with Sam Cooke, Elvis becomes involved in the civil rights movement. He performs at benefit concerts alongside Cooke and Aretha Franklin, risking backlash from conservative fans. His bold move alienates parts of his Southern base, but earns him admiration from progressive circles. In 1968, Elvis records If I Can Dream as a tribute to Martin Luther King Jr., whom he admired deeply. The song becomes an anthem for hope and change, cementing his place as a socially conscious artist. His comeback performance is no longer a desperate attempt to revive a stagnant career, but a triumphant showcase of his enduring relevance. Without Parker's legal troubles holding him back, Elvis embarks on a world tour, performing in London, Tokyo, and Johannesburg. These performances introduce Elvis to new genres, including reggae and African highlife, which influence his later work. However, the relentless touring takes its toll. By 1975, Elvis begins to show signs of wear, and his prescription drug use increases. Unlike in the original timeline, his team intervenes early. A close friend, perhaps Johnny Cash or James Brown, encourages him to seek treatment, leading to a brief hiatus. By the 1980s, Elvis is a seasoned performer focusing on acoustic and stripped-down sets. He mentors younger artists, including Bruce Springsteen and Prince, helping to bridge the gap between rock's origins and its evolution. Though his health remains fragile due to earlier damage, he avoids the complete physical decline seen in his original timeline. Elvis celebrates his 50th birthday in 1985 with a sold-out concert at Madison Square Garden. His music continues to evolve, blending gospel, blues, and world music. However, his personal life remains complicated. He marries a gospel singer in the late 1970s, but struggles with fidelity and the pressures of fame. By the 1990s, Elvis becomes a revered elder statesman of rock, receiving numerous accolades, including a Kennedy Center honor. Despite his achievements, he laments the commercialism of modern music and becomes an outspoken critic of the industry. Elvis retires from public life in the early 2000s, focusing on philanthropy and spiritual pursuits. He dies peacefully in 2008 at age 73, leaving behind a legacy as both a musical pioneer and a champion of social change. Wow, what an incredible year it's been. Thank you for joining me on this amazing journey of exploring alternate realities and diving into the biggest what-ifs in pop culture. Your love and support mean the world, and I couldn't be more excited for everything we've got coming in 2025. Let's make this year bigger, bolder, and even more unforgettable. Together, here's to a year full of possibilities, inspiration, and epic stories. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend.